where we left our adventurous, intrepid adventurers, we continue on. Okay. Hey, Andrew. We had a long team meeting,
Yes, we did. That's okay though.
so let me get the standard stuff out of the way. We are developers of the Shroud of the Avatar. It's an online multiplayer game. We have over 400 zones to explore. Been around quite some time. We are a secret gem that the internet keeps quiet about because they don't want to share it with everybody else. So think fast. Get into the game now. Free to play. Optional subscriptions. Help support the development of the game. All right, so we streamed earlier today a little bit, and now we're picking off, basically picking back up where we left off. Yep. Okay. This is gonna be
And
fun.
we're totally picking off too.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that means.
See, opposed to other developers, we don't drink on stream. So,
Those were the old days.
yeah. All right. So let me see. I'm going to share my screen first for a second, and
Okay.
then go ahead and come on in when you want.
And then I'll share my screen. Let me see if I can find the right thing again. Where is
Yep.
that? Oh yeah, there it is.
Shrink this down.
And this is me sharing my entire screen. Yay.
Stretch that out a little bit. Make it bigger. No, we don't want that big. Okay. All right. Hide. Hide. Oh, that's yours. Hey, click that hide button at the bottom of your screen there.
Click hide.
Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Just
Oh,
makes it
so
look better.
we can hide and unhide our windows as we shared. They're not like side by
Oh,
side.
no, 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 no. That was actually that gets broadcast, so I could actually see the thing that says, "Hey, you can hide this window. Stop sharing." Why
Oh,
did?
hide that little piece. You mean that interface element?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, yeah.
I
What you
don't know.
did,
I don't know how to bring it back though.
you don't need it.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
All right. So let me see here. I'm going to myself. There we go. So now we are side by side.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. So and hey, look at that. We're both in 3ds Max.
Oh, are
Okay,
we?
guys. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
see. Yeah.
So what I'm working on is, as you guys may recall, when we last parted ways, I was getting ready to see if the Spider Room passed its integration testing, and it did. So the spider totem, the pedestal, and the spider statue, like what you see there on the screen, were the problem with that room. As far as the problems I was having there, I still have the nav mesh problems. And well, that's funny. I wonder. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. But watch what you're showing on screen, though. Okay.
Yes. I need to. What I need to do though is um, I need to find the thing. Sadly, when I'm doing what I'm doing, it doesn't. The window I'm clicking on doesn't supersede the 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 thing that's streaming. So
Right. Right.
uh, I'm trying to look and see the thing that lets me look at the stream as well.
Oh, gotcha. Um,
Uh,
the
oh, here it is.
website, right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah. No, I always fail to.
Gotcha.
I always
Um,
look to remember it, so I have to go kind of look it up.
okay. You can save it as a favorite.
Hmm.
what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So basically, as I was working on this stuff, what I found out, uh, I kind of like mentioned this on earlier streams when I was working on the room. I was kind of moaning about how somebody didn't delete the bones. They made something into a statue, but they left the bones in. The spider doesn't have bones, but the spider has an avatar. The spider is literally made from one of our mob spiders, and the animations were left in. So I'm thinking, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking that the that was causing a conflict, and it was getting very upset that it couldn't complete the enumeration of the spider as a mob. So I'm going into 3ds Max now to rip out any residual crap that's been left behind that makes this thing into an animated character, and then I'm going to put it back into the game, rebuild the totem, because as you guys may remember, I think you all, everybody who's here now was there earlier, that I put an elf totem in place, and it worked using a spider um, uh, the spider totem into the socket on the pedestal, and that worked. So all I need to do is change out the visual from the elf to the spider, and that's where I'm looking at the spider and saying, "Oh crap, this is probably what broke everything." So I'm going to rip that apart and make it into just a normal thing, which will actually be better for the game in its entirety, and then I will be able to build the patch. Of course, now we're late on, we were supposed to be building a patch today to go live with. So we're trying to get that patch in as soon as we can. As soon as I get this spider done, then I will be starting the live build. So that means that tomorrow, I don't know, maybe around noon, we'll probably be patching out the um, April Fool's stuff that we did. So, all right, Mr. Scotty, if you want to go ahead and talk, you can talk. I don't want to monopolize.
Oh, sure. Uh, all I'm doing is continuing the work that I was doing before. I'm in the middle of working on one of our row houses. In this particular case, I'm working on a version 3 of the row house that includes a huge open floor plan, including a bottom floor open floor plan that has large bay windows that are perfect for people who want to run their row house as a little shop, because some players like to do that. So whether they like it as their shop or they just like the beauty of the bay window, I'm playing around with adding a huge bay window area to the very bottom floor of these particular row houses as a third version, as an extension of the open floor plan. So I'm working on the exterior right now, so all the stuff inside is missing and hollow. But yeah, you all can watch as I kind of in the background silently do that kind of stuff and possibly loudly curse at times because I'm working in 3D Studio Max and an older version of Max that we have a license for that is not necessarily as bell and whistle infused as the newest version. So every once in a while I have to curse at it. So, but other than that, hopefully you'll enjoy watching my weird process as I go through and uh, min max my polygon count and my vertex count as I try to fix things that I'm working on as I go. So fun stuff. And that's
Great.
pretty much it.
Loads of fun.
Yeah, neat stuff.
Okay, so now let me see here. Find this stupid thing. I don't think there's any animation. Oh, I don't think that's right.
And by the way, for those of you who are out there, feel free to ask any questions as we go. Sometimes we'll be silent as we focus on stuff, but uh, we'll try to keep an eye on the chat as things pop up.
I might have to ask you a question.
Sure, what's up?
Um, I don't see the avatar in the scene list, in the mesh list in the scene.
Yeah.
How do I get rid of it?
So you're saying you don't see the avatar in your mesh list
Yeah,
of the scene? You don't see the avatar? You're
yeah, I don't see it. It's not there.
Is there normally an avatar for monsters like spiders?
Yeah, anything that's animated has an avatar, and that's what I said. If we look in the game, um, in the Unity editor, if you look at this FBX, it's got a mesh and it's got an avatar, and the avatar should not be there because the Unity thinks it has animation, but it doesn't, and the avatar is there because it's left over. It's residual from this being stolen from an animated model.
And so you're saying you want to get rid of the avatar from your 3ds Max scene?
Yep.
And you're saying it's what you're not seeing is you're not seeing it in that list.
Right. I'm not seeing it in the select by name list, so I'm assuming either it's hidden or maybe this is just a corrupted model that I have to launder through Pro Builder.
Or avatar in Unity is something that's added by our code from Unity or in Unity anytime a scene with animations is brought in. So it could be there is no avatar in the 3ds Max scene that's exported, but an avatar is generated for it once it goes into Max. I mean, once it goes into Unity.
Right. Okay. But um
Now that means that you might want to, because are you trying to export this without any animations?
yeah, and I did already, but the
Uh,
avatar is still there.
well, it could be that, like, if you move your mouse down to the little scroll bar for animations,
Hmm.
uh, 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 like go all the way down to the left, right there, and click on that scroll, that whole bar there, and see if you
Yep.
can move it from left to right, and see if it acts like there's animations.
Oh, well, it's got no weighting, so it's not going to move.
Oh, okay.
Because it
So
says something, whoever made this statue,
yeah,
they apparently didn't completely rip out the vertex weighting is gone, the bones are gone,
huh,
but the
okay.
avatar is there, and the FBX properties still claim that it has animation. So uh,
So, um, uh, so, so move your mouse down lower than the animation bar into an empty space,
mhm.
and then left click and act like you're trying to select anything inside that animation bar to see if it lets you select anything, and
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
delete.
all right, all right. No, no, I don't think there's any frames.
Doesn't look like there's any
No,
keyframes at all.
no.
Um, and then make sure to go into Unity and see if you can delete the avatar it has been automatically generated for it.
Yeah, well, it's inside the FBX, so
It shouldn't be, but well, in that case, um, and you've hit export FBX from this,
right. And animation was not checked off. I went through all the stuff to make sure that it was clean.
right? Yeah, the only thing I can think of that is that it's left as some kind of legacy in Unity, and so you can't click the avatar and delete uh, the avatar inside of the FBX in Unity? Does it even let you?
No. No, you can't. You could duplicate those items to make separate standalone items in Unity, but anything that's inside the FPX can't be deleted.
Huh. Okay, so uh
But going off of something you said, I'm going to uncheck import animation, which was still checked off in the FBX properties.
oh yeah, that definitely needs to be turned off.
Yeah, turn that off. See if the avatar disappears this way. But I would I would think that the Soda Spider statue avatar is in it. It's definitely inside of the FBX as far as the way the hierarchy is showing it.
Right.
And I would think that that means that there's some data inside the FBX that's presenting that.
Yeah, I've exported things before that have zero animations in it, but if I happen to have turned on or left turned on the checkbox in the FBX exporter that says export animations, it's
Mhm.
created that avatar thing anyway
Right, right, right.
in Unity. And then the only other thing I could think of is if that avatar still remains in Unity after you've unchecked every export checkbox that has anything to do with animation, the
Mhm.
only other last thing I could think of is using the little utility hammer in the upper right above your uh, above
Yep,
your modifier list.
right.
There might be some kind of hammer utility in there that if you look under more, it could be like there could be some kind of in the same way there's a UVW remove, there
Right.
might be some kind of animation removal that kind of cleans it, but I don't know. I don't see anything immediately. Oh, I do see animation store, but that doesn't look like.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it would be the right
Yeah, I don't
thing.
see because there's several cleaning functions in the utilities, which like clean multi-material, fixed link manager, things like that, and UVW remove. I don't see anything for animation like that though.
No,
So
me either. All right. Well, I mean,
bummer. Yeah, I don't. I mean, so once you uncheck that animation thing, both in the exporter as well as in Unity, and if you try to re-export it as an FBX, what happens?
um, hey, John Marcus, how's it going? Thanks for the cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Bits. Um, yeah, I'll try that. Give me a second. Rig. That was also set to generic. I changed that to none. See, that's the thing. I mean, this thing was set up as if it was going to be a model, a
Right.
moving model.
And another possibility, because I thought of this too, because I looked up and a Night Owl of One had the word renamed with a question mark. You could experiment by um, exporting it as a new FBX under a different name to see if it regenerates that same thing. Because if
Oh,
it doesn't, like now that you have everything set up and you have it clean and there doesn't appear to be any bones left or any other animation rigging or anything left in it,
right.
and you just made very sure that the FBX exporter in from Max when you export it as an FBX that the animation export checkbox is turned off. Then if you export it under a different name completely, like it's a new file, like do that to see if it spontaneously generates the avatar inside the FBX. I'm hoping it doesn't.
Oh, actually, when I unchecked the rigging, when it's disabled the rigging, the avatar went away.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yep. So
Yay.
that's going to be the issue then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Rigging check. And where was the rigging checkbox?
in the rig, uh, it's an animation type is under rig, and
Under
the
Unity though. It's in
yeah,
Unity.
it's in Unity. And again, it's like what you said. It's kind of like a paired thing. If I exported it with animation, then you know, it would have had more stuff going on there. But
Right.
um, yeah, I didn't know that the turning off the rig here is just basically gets rid of that avatar. Um,
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah,
so
that's
all
good.
right, well that's cool. Yeah, the only thing I do see I have a read write enabled on this, but we're using a box collider on this thing, but I don't know where else this statue might be being used. So I'm going to leave that read write on for now. We'll catch that in one of our other optimization audits.
Right.
Uh,
Wise.
Okay. Well, cool. Thanks for the help on that.
Sure, I'm glad it worked. That kind of stuff doesn't always.
Save project. See if that's anything. Yeah. This we don't need. That was something else we were doing. All right. Let's see. I am going back to the spider room once again into the breach.
Always, always.
Spider, spider. Oops. Started this week with such high hopes.
Totally to have them dashed
Yeah,
with jagged rocks of the cliffs.
by spiders. All right, so let's figure it out. Oh, this isn't it the right spot? Oh, did I? No. Oh, I'm on the right side. Yep, completely lost. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. Now I am going to take this elf and I'm going to change it into a spider since now we don't have a screwed up spider. Cool. There we go. Now this I don't think it is two. Yep. Something else. And of course, this is using the wrong texture again. I think, yep, because we're using the wrong material.
But of course,
Life wouldn't be interesting otherwise.
I didn't think it was going to be easy, did you? No.
Spider. Okay, that's no more, not fun anymore. Uh, spider. Oh, that's right. It wasn't spider tone. It was actually just totem. Totem material. There we go. Player dungeon. Port player dungeon. Totem slot base
Totally what? What did you say? Spock face?
material. Slot base.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
totally Spock face.
Up until now, nobody had made a material that was dedicated to the dungeon totems. There are, so far I've found some various weird things in there. Like they were using the lich. I mean, you are sitting down. Yes, good. All right. They were using the lich normal
What?
for the I mean, you get, oh, I'm not looking at the right thing anymore. Hold on. Let me change what I'm sharing so that way you can see what I'm doing. Everybody, no, nobody sees what I'm doing. That explains a lot. Oh man. Ugh. Um, yeah, how do I do this? Oh, I'm on the wrong. I need to be over here and share something different. Share this, share. No, no, bring the call back here. Uh,
Weren't you already presenting? Oh, you're trying to make it bigger.
well, no, no, I had to change from 3ds Max to Unity.
Oh, you're not sharing your screen. You're sharing a program.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, because
Okay.
normally when I do this through OBS, I share a part of my screen. But since we're doing this as a thing where because we're both remote from each other and sharing the screens, this just makes more sense to do it this way.
Right.
So, and now we're back to being side by side. Of course, my screen is under you and your screen is under me, but whatever. uh, okay, so
Yeah, that's not confusing at all for people.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So if you take a glance at my screen there, you see
Uh-huh.
the ghostly transparent spider
Oh,
sitting
that's
on the
right. Because this is
pedestal.
the spider. This is the thing that lets players place an object in their own personal dungeon area that their other players can't see. But as a host for their dungeon, that lets them place spawners that will spawn those creatures.
Right. And the one thing I will say differently than that is that other players are supposed to not see it.
Oh, but they sometimes can.
Not sometimes. I personally consider it a bug. I don't know if it was design intent or not. I'm sure that everybody in the audience right now will confirm. Ineffect says we can cope, so they're okay.
So not
Um,
sometimes, but all the damn time is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's in adventure mode, it's not supposed to be visible at all. The
Yeah,
entire pedestal should just be gone. And
that's not okay. That's
if
not
I
okay.
can't fit, here's the thing. I mean, see, guy, this is what it's called. This is called squirreling. If I can't fix it, then I'm going to fully implement something that I still planned on putting in anyway. That when players come in here, player owns their dungeon, they're coming in, they're gonna expand their dungeon, do whatever, blah blah blah, and they need to activate spawns in a room. There will be something less obtrusive than a Greco-Roman uh, pillar pedestal sitting out in an entrance hallway. Um, I will, probably have like a loose rock or something, or you know what? No, never mind. Strike all that. What the hell am I talking about? We have these wonderful blue hammers. So, yeah, it was a mason's hammer and a ball peen hammer. Basically, what will happen is that when you go to manage the room connections, uh, I will add more to it that say, when the room is a spawning room, then you'll be able to say, put your totem, apply it to the hammer menu, kind of like the dolls, right? Have a slot
Hmm.
type of thing, and then this will allow um, all that management to be done uh, without any players getting a hint that there might be spawns in that room.
Ah,
Yeah. So to me, this was a cheap out. Um, I mean, I'm sure it was a necessary design decision, but yeah, there's other ways to do this. I mean, this is immersive, yes, and or more immersive, I guess. But I would much rather just handle it in the UI menu than do this because uh, you know this is intrusive.
yeah, yeah. I mean, anything that doesn't, I mean, I guess we're trying to both be non-intrusive, but we're also trying to not break, you know, the what is it called, the uh, uh, I can't think of the right word, like break
Immer
immersion.
Immersion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, breaking immersion. So I mean, but it's like there's certain things that have to be. There has to be a UI in the game. So um,
Yes.
this is just the way to deal with it, and it's better than having broken things. So, but anyway, that's what I'm planning on doing. So now back to what I'm doing here. Um, I applied the right material because it was using, as I said, it was using, and this material because what it's what is it called? It's the shader is called Stealth. So basically, it's kind of like Predator, you know, like the Predator movies, where it was just kind of like, tingling, not tingling, but you know what I mean, shimmering. Yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
shimmering. So uh, I applied a normal for fabric on here, so it has a bit of a texture, and it kind of moves around, um, swims on the object, um, while staying completely transparent. Uh, and whoever put the stuff together originally, uh, because everything was a lich totem in the beginning, apparently they just decided to reuse the normal from the lich, and if you stood there and watched if you watch the pedestal as the stuff is moving around on it, it's got like a randomization for movement and directions. You could actually see the hood of the lich go by, and the robe pieces, and it's just the normal.
Right.
So it's yeah. So I got rid of that. But anyway, all right. So I changed that out. Now all I need to do is um, find my prop there, and we got the spider statue, we got that, so it's done. Except this LOD group does not need to be here. Remove. Goodbye. Yeah. So let me just double check. Oh, you know what? This has been kind of. Let's see. Righty. And just let's make sure that everything is as it's supposed to be. Good. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna change this to a spider. Right? And then so here will also be spider. And then blah, 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 blah. Spider. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that. Um, spider. Oh, and well, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I am not going to save this right now.
Did it not do as you wished?
No, this is another one of those things that I don't know where this is used. Otherwise, I don't think it is. The this is the only spider room I think we have, right? Is that off the top of anybody's head?
Oh, that I cannot say.
No,
I
I'm
made the
asking them.
one, but God knows how many times it was proliferated by designers later for some reason. You never
Um,
know.
well, no, that's the whole thing. I built this room, and I think this was the first one. Yeah, only one spider room, right?
Ah,
Yeah, because there were not very many spawning rooms, and there still aren't. I mean, this is a huge project. I need a staff of like 10 people to do all the other stuff in the game, so I could go and do what I'm supposed to be doing. But anyway, let me see, where was I? Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete this, but I will, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rename it. That's what I'll do. Old, not use. There. It's updating references to something. Damn it. All right. Well, whatever. Um, this, save that. But what I want to do in the long run here is I'm going to take this spider totem that I made and drag it out here to make a new prefab, because this one is obviously worked up. I mean I might have fixed it with that whole thing with the animation avatar and all that, and which is more than likely what the problem really was. But I don't think I need to take a chance. So
Ah,
I'm just renaming this to do not use, so that way I don't break anything in the game before I go and search it and make sure it's not in use anywhere. And then I need to submit that so the name change goes through. It's in the project, everything's done, and then I will create this prefab and save it and wipe out its entity ID and let it go through integration so it gets a brand new entity ID of its own. And we have a process rule when we make new dungeon rooms or world building, anything like that, that all of the entity IDs need to be deleted from unpacked prefabs. And then that way there'll be no duplicate IDs in the game.
ah,
So that's another issue. These player dungeons, they can put down 5 of the same dungeon room. So the system is the way it's made. It'll detect that there's a duplicate ID, and it'll basically dynamically assign a new ID uh, as it's going, right, for that instance of the existence of the room. But in the game, in the database, all the IDs really should be unique. Otherwise, integration kind of throws a fit. So,
ah.
and integration is a real pain in my ass. So, all right,
When is
let's,
integration not?
uh,
Never.
yeah, pretty much. All right, let's see here. We did have a developer working on Wyvern, Drake, and Dragons in the game using base bone structure anatomy and then add in the filler. That was a while ago, lol. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, when when was it? Are you talking about? I don't remember when that was. Is that like 2017 time frame, like when Matt was still around, or are you talking about like Elgarian doing his type of thing? Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm assuming the yes is that it was Elgarian. So he wasn't long ago in Soda.
Long, long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, Elgarian was not doing anything in base bone structure. I'll tell you that right now. That's okay. No worries there. You just wait. When I finally retire, there's going to be a book,
It's going to be called the Necronomicon.
or my life, subtitled, or my life in the gaming industry.
Yeah, which is like the Thrill Kill cult, but
Faster, faster, pussycat.
faster, faster, pussycat. That's right.
Um, okay, let me see now. Where was I? Oh yeah, I'm going here. I gotta get this thing submitted. All right, there's that. Should I get all this stuff?
No, why did it do that? Oh, I have preserve UVs on. That's why.
Okay, so um, change. I know you guys can't see this, but submit. All right. Fixed. Um, and then not have animation. Um, um, and first stage removal of spider. Submit. Okay. Here's where the boring stuff happens for a little bit, and then we get back to some interesting things because now that I've fixed the spider room, well, I shouldn't say it that way because I don't I don't really know if this was frigging up the nav mesh or not, because well, let's just say it's a really interesting coincidence that it's a spider model that still had its avatar and part of its animation settings in the game. Um, that was supposed to just be this statue thing. Obviously in a room that's going to be spawned with spiders, where the spiders are having difficulty moving around in certain areas. So I don't know. I am going to rerun the nav mesh again, but that's not going to be tonight, because I have some code to do with the nav mesh. So I want to do the code first, and then I'll rerun that. But at least the worst case is that Spider Room is operational, but still has the problem with the spiders on the second and third floor and the boss room. And um, if that's still the case, then at least there's no loss. The room can now be placed, and the pedestal works, and my editor and integration doesn't keep freaking out on me every 2 hours. So um, if that's um, if that's the case, then I say it's going to be a nav mesh issue. That's all that's left, and what I need to do then is fix the code that I know to be broken. Um, Basically, well, I'll tell you. Just, all right, calm down. I'll tell you. It's fine. Jeez, they get so excited. Um, so basically, we have two tools in the editor that were written by Port. Um, Uh, one, it was actually originally called Dungeon Run. That's what it was called, Dungeon Run. Okay, and then there was a second entry in that menu that was called Dungeon Run Debug. And basically, when you do Dungeon Run, it just the whole editor just freezes up, doesn't give you any feedback, nothing, and just sits there and does the swirly thing for about 10 minutes. Then it comes back and tells you that it didn't have permissions to edit files, because you had to know somehow inherently that you had to check out all of the nav mesh for all of the dungeons, all the dungeon rooms. So basically, what it's doing is that it goes and locates all the player dungeon rooms. It finds all the nav mesh files for those rooms, and it um, overwrites them, rebuilds them all at once, everything. It's like 160 rooms. So um, and and then the debug one, which when I started looking through the code was actually broken and disabled. So if you try to use it, it doesn't do anything. Uh, was intended to allow you to well, I guess obviously it says debug on it, so somebody was probably trying to debug the nav mesh script as a whole. but it basically was only trying to do the nav mesh on one room. So, well, that's great. I'm going to fix that and make it where you highlight a room in the game in the project, and when you activate that, then obviously going to rename it to single dungeon room or something like that, um, and and it runs it, will first prompt you and say, hey, you're going to rebuild the nav mesh for the selected room, and here's the selected room. Are you sure? And then go ahead and do it, and then it'll rebuild the nav mesh on it, and that means that I will be able to view the nav mesh and see those colors and see if it was actually built right. um, so I need to do that. Because I was saying this before, if I try to do this any other way, it's manually cheating. And even though I go in there and I rebuilt nav mesh on a couple of rooms, um, uh, I may be making it worse. I'm not doing everything the script is doing. So I'm going to go through and fix the script, get that all going. Then um, we'll actually have a nav mesh menu, uh, because it's the same script that actually builds the nav mesh for the houses, which is the last thing when Sky's building a house up there. The last thing that's done, completely the last thing, is that the house is run through the nav mesh builder for that. And of course, in the game, it's just called House Builder. So, which makes it sound very mysterious and scary, but it's just for the nav mesh. So, um, we'll have a menu for nav mesh building that'll have uh, um, uh, you know build house nav meshes, and like all of them, because it's you know is these scripts are also used by our automation process for the build process, and any um, uh, any dungeon rooms, like if I was to go into, oh Sam, if I was to go into the spider room here, right, and I decided to tear down this wall and make another room on the side there, I could do that, submit this in, and our integration process will notice that the geometry has changed for this room, and it will invoke the nav mesh script to update the nav mesh. So it doesn't delete it; it adds on to it. It expands the nav mesh, and that part works. Uh, and so what I need to do is I need to make sure those scripts still exist and everything, where it can not cyclically batch go through all the rooms as a process. So there's going to be one for the houses. There'll be one for the dungeon rooms, and one for basements. And the terrain, the scenes themselves, or the zones themselves, those are actually the nav mesh for those are actually built within the scene itself. That's actually inherently handled there. So that's easy enough. But anyway, so I got to fix up those things, and name them properly in our menu, because they were definitely a mystery for years. Nobody knew what the hell they were for. So there you go. So for a moment, I submitted that stuff in, and now I'm going to set up the build. Okay. All right. Then do a full merge now. All right. Just go ahead and do live build. Um, as I said, boring part. Sorry. But once we get this done, then I will set aside the spider room. Um, to see if the build reveals if the navigation has been fixed by doing this, because there is a potential that that's going to conflict. Um, and that will allow me to move on and start doing something with, oh, I don't know, maybe fire elementals. Okay, so let's see here. We have developers and naming things. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, yeah, I can't deny that. Okay, so we have Mr. Green RP who says, "How long has the game been in development for? Sorry, I'm new here." And so then Andrew Night Owl there is revealing that the Kickstarter was in 2013, towards the end of 2013, and uh, we are, well, it's funny because on the screen here you see myself and Scotty, Scott Jones over there on the other side. Scott
Hello.
Jones is actually probably one of the earliest people to have worked on this game, if not the earliest, based on the earlier conversation we were having.
Right.
And we don't hold that against him that he's first generation. And then myself, I'm technically the third generation or two and a half generation, 2.5 to work on this. So a very very high level, very quick history is that the game went to Kickstarter in 2013. It was started by Richard Garriott, who was known by the name of Lord British, famous for Ultima and Ultima Online, and basically the company that he I guess he owned it, right, with along with a few others like Dallas and
Oh yeah,
Star.
essentially Richard founded it in the wake of the year-long kind of hiatus he took from the gaming industry because he had a no-compete clause with Electronic Arts for like a year. And so when that was done, he was like, okay, no compete clause over. Time for me to jump back into the gaming industry. And that's when he founded Portalarian.
There you go. So they developed the game until I guess around the end of 2018, middle of 2019, and then it was handed off to um, Chris Spears, who was the lead programmer slash chief technology guy, who was also one of the originals, founding people with the company, and then he took it over, and after a few years, I think it was by 21, 22, the latest. I can't remember the exact year. This has all been blurring together. Um, he left and to hopefully greener pastures. I still talk to him. You know, we're still in contact with everybody. But um, so the I've been leading the team now for about 5 years, and as I said, we consider ourselves a third generation of the development team because we have now taken complete control of the game, uh, and we are solidifying our purpose, our direction, and we are going to start a new era. So yeah, the game has been in development for 12 and a half years almost, or 13 years, and but the game is huge, complicated in its construction, uh, but we're definitely going to be going forward and doing a lot of stuff with this. There's supposed to be five uh, storyline episodes scheduled for this, as based on the original Kickstarter, and we plan on fulfilling that. I have worked on the plot line uh, for four of the five episodes are basically um, in the can, as they call it, and then the fifth episode is going to be probably what's going to lead into the true end game for the game. But there's a lot involved, which we have not revealed a lot of things in detail to the player base because uh, historically they tend to get a little rowdy and want to know why we haven't finished it next week. So Uh, so let's see. So awesome. So many people have worked on this and has passed through so many hands with you all adding stuff and building it up all along the way. So glad you're all keeping it going. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
Andrew was saying in response, the game had at one time around or more than 30 working on this game. Yeah, there was actually 38 developers working on the game. I mean, total employees was somewhere in the 40s because I don't think Dallas was counted in that number, but I think there were
Right.
38 developers on the floor, programmers, artists, animation, all that neat stuff, all the different departments. So, and even at that, for the size of this game is and the lofty goals that Richard had for what he wanted to accomplish, 38 is a drop in the bucket. You know, he really wanted to, and I don't even want to say attempted. I mean, he 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 did he created a game that really should have had 100 developers on it to get to where it was. Um, Sadly, because of the lack of headcount, not everything got completed. They tried to
Right.
do too much at the same time, and we're still, excuse me, we're still kind of in that type of boat, really, because we have very few developers on the team. We don't really talk about the exact number, but it's less than 10. It's a small number,
Well,
and
and it varies based on kind of contract events going on and things like that too.
yeah,
So,
yeah, no, and it's true because there's as I said, we there are no bridges burned here. Like I consult with Richard about canon and lore and things along those lines, and the storylines and stuff like that. So he's aware of what I'm doing. So I'm a custodian of the storyline, as it were, right? Because it's still Ultima in the end. And the Then and we have um, I guess the ex art director Damon. We still work with him every so often. Undone, who was an was he astrophysicist? What was his? It was
oh
a
gosh, I'm not sure.
He had a doctorate in something in astronomy something. And I apologize, Bobby, but I don't remember exactly. But he actually designed the sky, and the constellations move as they really should. The planets move as they really should. I think we still need to do some little tweaking on that, but the for the most part, uh, the celestial bodies don't just hang in the sky, and they're actually part of the game. So when certain uh, constellations are visible or planets are in retrograde and all that type of stuff, um,
When the
then
stars align.
yeah, then certain events occur in the game. So it's pretty cool stuff, actually. Um, and it's not like we have a button that we have to flip to make. There's a comet that comes around every year, and that comet is out there. It's out there mathematically traveling around, whatever we want to call this, a solar system or whatever. And when it comes by the planet and it becomes visible, then certain creatures emerge from their hibernation. So um, yeah, so pretty cool stuff. And so if you're new, definitely, obviously enjoy the stream and check out the game. It's obviously completely free. There's an optional subscription. You could also buy in-game currency, all the usual stuff. But it's pretty much a big giant sandbox, and there's a ton of stuff to craft. And as I said, the game tries to do a whole bunch of different things. So there's PvP aspects, there's PvE, there's crafting, there's decorations, there's you name it, and there's a little bit of something going on in the game in that way as well. Which I will take this moment to plug our egg hunt event that we will be having on Saturday, the
Yeah.
11th.
That's right.
Yeah, I really need to go and do the social media for this month. Um, and so we will have three different sessions, one at 9 a.m. And then I'm desperately looking for a browser so I can read off the right numbers. Get this over here. Okay, so we will be doing our event at 9 a.m. at. I'm not doing a great job of stalling. Where the heck is it? Oh, there it is, right at the top. Okay. Yeah, there we are. 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. Central. Uh, Central Daylight Time, but Central Time. We have there's a zone in the game by the name of Mount Madeir that is developer run and is closed to players unless we're having an event. And I will tell you that we have a dev who has spent, how many months did she say?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. It's been quite a bit. She's been
Yeah,
preparing for this for a while.
yeah, quite a number of months preparing the scene, hiding the eggs, and putting together all sorts of great surprises and stuff. This is our sixth year, I guess, right? I gathered from what she said. This is our sixth year having this event, and it's come one, come all, and have some fun and get killed. I mean, have some fun and find the eggs. So.
Who said
Um,
anything about dying? Who said anything about dying?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't understand what you mean.
Mm. Lots of band-aids. Bring lots of band-aids. Yep. Um, yeah, that's Lainey is she is the primary for um this type of stuff. She does our customer service and she delivers things in the game for prizes and stuff along those lines. And she's also does all the decorating for the events. We had there was a fashion show that we did at one point, and the Easter egg. Well, no, not Easter, just the egg hunts. No Easter. Shh, you didn't hear that. We're non-denominational here. So, and then she's also been doing itemization lately, so creating things for you guys to have in the game. So very awesome stuff. And of course, we also have Allium, who's uh, basically our project manager, and well, not basically, she is the project manager, and she also does a heck of a lot of stuff with itemization, and she's been getting deeper and deeper into more of the systems. And then myself, I've been through all that stuff. I've been working on the game. I worked with alongside Portalarium, I guess I should say, not as a dev with them, but uh, came down to the office and worked on stuff and worked on scripts and things along those lines for community driven type of projects since 2017. And now I've gotten myself to a point where at this point I'm doing a lot of coding, troubleshooting, fixing bugs that have been around for 10 years, things like that. And so anyway, and then of course Scotty is our art director, and we also have Sanyo floating out there, who is our main world builder at the moment, and he's working on episode two. And we also have is it Bobby who comes in once in a while, and Devicult who does some coding for us, and then we have some other folks too. Uh, and we're trying to expand the team and get things done quicker. But at the moment, things are slower with development, but the quality is there. So the level of bugs that used to be present in the game are no longer present. Especially with the newer stuff going into the game. If there's something broken, we fix it. We don't put it off, or at least we try as best we can to
Yeah,
get,
at least
get
that's
that
the
fixed.
goal. I mean,
Yeah,
keeping up with bugs is always the main issue of any project like this. So, but we do our best.
exactly. So as Andrew said, the subscriptions, which are optional, start at $9. There are three tiers of subscription: 9, 18, and $27 a month. And as you could probably imagine, The $9 will get you a certain level of stuff, which is 900 crowns. So it's basically a dollar, a dollar per crown, and that actually is better than the immediate price for 750 crowns on the website for $10. And Then in addition to that, you get on a monthly basis potions, and there are periodic titles and die packs and all sorts of other stuff. If you go up on the website, there's a complete list of all the benefits uh, that you get for subscribing. Then from there, if you go up to the $18 tier, you get something like, what was it, 2,300 kodos or something along those lines. So it's one of those curves that goes up. The discount is a little deeper, and then the $27 level, of course, is like 30 3,000 something, 3,500, I think, 3,600. I don't know.
That I,
Crowns. Yeah. So um, yeah, so if you try the game out and you like it, consider supporting the game as long as you can afford it and everything, but it does definitely helps us pay the developers and get new equipment and update our software licenses and all those neat things because a lot of that stuff is definitely needed to be done. So there you go. So back to our show. Um,
yeah. Well, and as always, thank you for any support you all end up giving. I mean, it's what keeps us alive. We uh, we work for the satisfaction of not just our enjoyment of creating games, but for the hopeful enjoyment of the folks who like to come in and try us out and try out new stuff. So, any support is always welcome and always deeply appreciated.
exactly. We are a dedicated group.
We are.
All right. Let's see now. I gotta get this patch going. Allergies. Okay.
You say allergies?
Yeah, allergies.
Are you having bad allergies right now?
No, not bad. It's just a little sniffly. So I'm gonna be a little quiet for the moment here. I just need to finish this. This is one of those unusual months where we have, geez, was it 4 patches coming in this month? We usually do at least one patch a month, which is our release for the month, and supposed to be a larger amount of things, stuff for the. Oh, I skipped right over that. Right when you get the subscription, there's monthly login rewards. There's login rewards for everybody. You get a login reward once a month if you log in. For somewhere during the month, on the ever first of the month, we change that out. Subscribers get additional login rewards, and um, the login rewards that the subscribers get, they go out during our release, which is on the last Monday of the month, and basically there's about 10 days that they get to be, uh, well, I'll say the exclusive holder of those items, and which gives you an opportunity to show them off to players or trade them to other players before they actually go into the crown shop. And, that's part of the subscription program as well. Um, but anyway, where was I now? Kind of lost myself. But, so this month we have 4 patches because, well, we have our normal patch, then we had a patch to fix some unexpected things or whatever like that happened Something was broken or whatever, so we fixed it, did a patch, and then we have this patch I'm working on right now, which is ending the uh, um, April Fool's thing. We don't do April Fool's for a day. We pretty much do April Fool's for depending on what the thing is that year. But so this year we did it for um, about 9 days, I guess 8, 9 days, and by the time the patch gets in, and uh, then we have a patch at the end of the week on Friday. That well, patch will be built on Friday, and it actually gets deployed like early hours of Saturday. That will turn off our sales and um, other stuff that's going on. So I gotta get this patch out. Right. And well, it's looking good, Scott.
Yeah, I've just got to figure out how I'm gonna bring it on in into uh, to the actual building part of it too, because I want to, uh, it's essentially an octagon, but you just don't get to see you only get to see three of the eight sides,
Oh, okay.
kind of stop sign shape.
Yeah.
But since the roof sticks out, you do need to see the uh, two, two more sides basically, so five sides of it. Uh,
Oh, I see what you're saying. So there'll be just a little bit of the actual parallel.
yes, just a little so that it can go sink back into the wall.
Right.
But it's kind of a fake out,
Yep,
so
yep.
but for it to look right from most sides, it kind of needs to do that.
Right.
And the best way to do that is to do what I'm about to do. But before I do that, I need to create some more polys.
Oh, I'm gonna do a QA build first. I have that urge to just go ahead and do the live build, but definitely want to do it. Oh, thank
Oh,
you for the follow, drummer.
no, thank you. You're just trying to do some testing stuff now. Is that why you?
Yeah, well, yes, we have we have a number of things that we just did, right? And one of them is that the certificate update that's causing the end user license agreement to be presented to players every time they log into the game. So we actually did a build earlier today, expecting that that would be fixed, but it turned out that uh, our IT guy who put the certificates into the project um, missed a file. So
Oh
uh,
no.
yeah, so it happens. So that just means that but we caught it. And that's the whole point of it. So I fixed the file, and we're going to be starting the build right now. Although I'm positive that that's going to be okay and fixed, I want to make sure that it's going to work properly. So we'll do a QA. And that actually will also give me an excuse to test the Spider Room because the Spider Room will be on the QA server with the updates as well. So I'll be able to tell if the nav mesh is still screwed up.
Mm.
And you guys are all quiet today. I know what it is. I am, what is it, manipulating? No,
Manipulating.
yeah, not manipulating, but,
I'm,
like taking over the conversation.
oh, oh.
Yeah, I'm talking too much. So I'm interrupting them. So, oh, somebody, Hex 6 Studios is mind blown that we don't use the dark theme in Unity. Well, or I don't use the dark theme in Unity. Actually, the rest of my machine is all dark theme. And that is a good point. I should probably try that out at some point. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's a little subconscious thing because we're still on Unity 2018, and I don't want to be on 2018 for any time, any long period of time going forward here. So I don't want to, make it too comfortable. I want off. Get the hell out of here. So anyway, where was I? Oh, look at that. There's a that spider statue has self-intersecting polygons in it too. So more crap to fix. Okay. All right. So I got that merged up. Let me just go and start my build. Okay. Get QA. Run. All right. We'll get that going. And, yeah, me too. Hexus Studios is hoping that when we upgrade to a new version of Unity, it won't break much. Uh,
Yeah.
this project is actually this project because of the fact that we have had a release cycle every month for 13 years, um, and it's sandbox, so we keep adding things into the game, more assets and more assets, more assets. Uh, Back in 2018, we were documented as being the largest project running under Unity anywhere. And I'm sure that we probably are still. If not, we're got to be up there as far as the
Yeah.
size of the project.
We're
So,
definitely pushing it. I mean, it's one of those where where we very early on crammed as much as we could into it, and we just kept cramming. We just kept building and building and building and building.
yep,
So yeah, we have an enormous project, which is sometimes detrimental. I mean, we're trying to like do a little bit of everything,
yeah, and
and
it doesn't help that back then when there was a lot of work being done, it was really a lot of rushing to go from thing to thing to thing. So a lot of cleanup work, LOD systems weren't completed, the optimizations and things wasn't done. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and we'll be cleaning up. Well, you know what? It's not the size of the project, man. Are you having fun? Is it your life's dream and goal? Because that's what it is for me, and that's really what it is for all of us that are on the team right now.
yeah,
Um, is it I don't I kind of cringe a little bit when people say it's a passion project, but I mean
it
it's
sort of is. I mean,
yep. He
it's
says
certainly.
it's how you use it. It's true.
Oh God. Well, I mean, it's certainly why a lot of us, especially myself, I may take breaks from it, but I come back and I may take breaks, because we all have to make money in different ways, and we all kind of do different kind of contract work too, because times are tough and the economy's rough. But uh, I keep working on it, and I consistently keep touching things in this project and being a part of the project because it's definitely a passion for me. I mean, I believed in the concept of it from the earliest inception, and I continue to believe in it today. And like you said, I was one of the very first artists that worked on it, even in a prototypical form, long before it was conceived of becoming essentially uh, what Richard called it, which was a spiritual successor to the Ultima series,
Yep.
which was also his doing, his creation.
So, and of course, me, I'm full time on this. This is my only source of money. So, uh, there are a small handful of us are completely dedicated to the game, and there's a lot of work. I mean, and it's the funny thing. It's like I said earlier, right? The 38 people, 38 devs was the high point, and for the team size. But even then, they really needed 150, 100, over 100 people to do stuff. And here we are, a handful of people, or a handful and a half or two, doing the work, and we're doing the work of 38 people.
Yeah.
So, um, loads of fun. I mean, I love fixing things. So, my biggest worry is when I get everything on the current, you know, constantly LTS support, Unity, and we get everything updated, all the major stuff fixed and everything. I'm worried that I might get bored, but I don't think so.
Well,
I
we kind of knew what we were getting into.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
every time I, come back for a long haul, I know exactly what I'm getting into. But again, that's part of what makes it a passion project.
yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. So, yeah, and I'm actually in the progress of getting us migrated over to Unity 6. It is definitely takes planning. There is stuff that has to change. There are third-party assets, third-party packages that are involved here that are gone. They don't make the stuff no more. And some of the stuff, I mean, we have source code and things along those lines, so we could do what we need to do to make it work. But it would probably be best to replace, you know, like for instance, NGUI. I talked about this a little earlier today, right? We're running NGUI for our UI, which of course, that only lasted like for 2 years, if that. And Actually, about 4 years ago, oh geez, 5 to 6 years ago, we were supposed to migrate off of NGUI to UGUI, and that never got done because just everything else kept on getting in the way. Devil Cult was actually brought on board specifically to work on that, and it never really happened. So um, that's one of the things that we need to get done uh, as part of our migration. I mean, again, I have all the source code for NGUI, so we could go in there and we could fix whatever weirdness crops up to keep ourselves on it. But it would be in our best interest to get off of that completely, which means that we need to implement a new UI. Oh dear. Which would be nice actually, have a new fresh UI. So, Andrew who says multitasking can and will get you losing what you're working on, which is very true. And you guys can see I'm always doing that right now. At least I got my patch stuff up there, and the patch is started. So that's good. That means that for about the next 6 hours, I don't have to worry about anything about that. Let's see here. Um, Andrew goes on to say, the time wife, from the time wife and I started testing walking or sitting in a chair, and the first time swimming was added or jumping, we just loved it when a fix came in, and to sit in a chair without falling through the chair. Yeah, that's true. So, um, Okay, I'm going to skip over that one just for a second. And Hex Studios says, reminds me of the Helldivers 2 devs using an outdated, deprecated engine and having to update it themselves. Yeah, exactly, right. And
Yeah.
not to mention that, I mean, Portalarium heavily modified everything they touched. Because, of course, everybody, I think I could say that. most everybody or everybody on the team for Portalarium are like ex-Origin. These are people who come all the way from all the early Ultimate days. You're talking career devs who've worked with Richard for all that time, and they built stuff from scratch. So they just came in here and said, okay, and then made it do what they were going to make it do. So uh, what that means is that we have inherited, as a code base that you could sit there and scratch your head at, forever because it's just I don't know what the hell they were doing. so, so I'm going through some of that stuff. I go in intending to do a 5 minute tweak to a piece of code and ended up spending 3 days on it to go through the code and make changes and all that neat stuff. So, um,
And I can
uh,
only speak to some of it. I mean, a
yeah,
lot of these people who are from the old Ultima days were used to working on 2D games, not 3D games. I'm one of the few people who ended up working on the very last Ultima, which was fully 3D.
right, right,
So I mean, and that was like, oh God, people freaked out. It was so, it was long ago, but people freaked out because it hadn't really been done to that extent yet, ever.
right, right.
And so yeah, so hell, some of the code that's in there is potentially legacy code from back when Richard still wanted to do, the old Ultima style 2D interfaces that actually looked like bags and weren't lists you could scroll down and all kinds of. So there have been strange kludges that have had to been added on to essentially ancient tech that was due to like fights between some of the new programmers and the old programmers. So it's kind of it's been crazy.
No, true. I mean, and of course, it's not like he wanted to do it. He did do it. Bag mode was a thing. So,
Yeah, it really was. And then the new players, people who are used to the new paradigm of interface that had become popular among most other games,
mhm.
were like, we don't want old school. We think it sucks. We hate it. And so for a while it was like, well, if you want bag mode, you can click one button and then it's bag mode. And then if you want list mode, it's the other. And then finally,
Yeah,
bag mode went the way of the dodo.
exactly. Right. It was a memorial for it someplace.
Yeah.
But all right, so I just want to chat is firing up here. There's a Croc 2020 has a question, but I which I want to get to, but I want to close this out first. So
Oh,
Hex Studios says I wonder how Halo Studios is doing using Halo Reach's Blam engine underneath Unreal Engine 5. Like, man, that's a 16-year-old engine handling gameplay with UE5 handling the visuals. No, there's third-party devs working on it as well. Yeah, I mean, and there are other games that I've been involved with and everything that merged two engines and made their own thing out of that and all that neat stuff. At least, what's going on with Unity. I don't have to really go in there and muck about with the core stuff. Uh, that's even in 2018, it's not that bad. It's pretty solid as far as what needs to be done. It's just it's that next layer above uh, that needs assistance for optimization and everything. And so I've been spending the last 3 years really working on the methods for optimizing a bunch of stuff, and we could go into that in a little bit. But for a moment, I want to hand this back over to Scotty because there was a question that was aimed towards him.
yeah. So, Croc 2020, you asked what Nimran Ionescu means from the Scott Jones painting. So that painting is a painting of me as my persona, both in the game and in the historical society that I'm part of, which is the Society for Creative Anachronism, the SCA, which is sort of a worldwide organization that likes to replay ancient history all the way from like the earliest time of the ancient Vikings all the way up to skirting into the edge of the Elizabethan era. The It used to be just primarily the Middle Ages, but they kind of stretched it out to include larger frames of time. So a larger span of time, I should say. And people who are a part of that historical society create their personas name them based on what part of the world they want to imagine that their character, their persona is from, and then they role play that in kind of uh, 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 live action things that we'll get together on weekends and do jousting. We will do feasts. People are dressed up in their costumes. They pitch tents and pavilions. They gather up in armor and they fight big battles. And it's all sort of medieval role play and medieval persona play. And so imagine that the character of Nimrod, because I have family that goes back to Wallachia, to old uh, Romania, and so the name Jones, my last name for real, uh, if you look at like Romanian, it become Jones becomes Ionescu and spelled like that way, Ionescu. And the my persona in the historical society is meant to be Romanian. Normally, he only went by his first name, which was Nimrod. And but eventually, I realized that if I was going to have like sort of a family name in the society and even have a secondary kind of family name in this game, I needed to kind of add that, and so I added the Romanianized version of Jones. So that's what it is. You're seeing my persona name in that portrait, and that's how my persona dresses. Nimrod Ionescu. Hopefully that hopefully that explains things. I've been in and out of different dress up and acting societies, and I do stage acting for Shakespearean theater, and I do all kinds of like fantasy role playing dress up stuff, and I run fantasy games, and I published a paper role playing game called Shard, the Shard RPG, and so yeah, I have my fingers in a lot of different buckets of communal activities all over the place. Everything from wargaming to fantasy role playing gaming to fantasy and historical dress up and events and stuff like that. So lots of fun, crazy stuff. Oh yes, Multumesk. Yeah, I rarely, and I wish, I truly wish, I commanded more of the Romanian tongue, but I do not, sadly. I am a long way away, both historically and in years from the Carpathians for sure. But I love the lore of that region. I love the lore of that area. And one of the saddest moments happened in Austin, Texas, for me many years back. There used to be a Romanian family that ran a really delicious little restaurant, a little cafe, if you call it that, and it was called Dracula.
Hmm.
And of course, people didn't know what to make of it because in the United States, when people think of the name Dracula, they think of monster movies and vampires and such. They don't realize that Vlad Dracula and the whole line of Dracula were heroes in Romania in ancient times. They defended the borders of the nation against the the Turkish Empire. And so, there are statues of Dracula in the in various places in Romania, uh, old Wallachia, to commemorate his deeds. And he was bloody. There's a reason. I mean, he was known as the Vlad Tepes. I mean, he was known as the Impaler for a very good reason. The merchants hated him because, I mean, he demanded tribute to make sure that his war chest was filled with the monies necessary to fund the building of the fortresses and a whole bunch of other things to keep the Ottoman Turk from the borders of old Wallachia from long, long ago. Uh, yeah, like Hex says he thinks of Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee, right? Well, because essentially we really only, most Westerners only know Dracula from the Bram Stoker's, the books. But believe me, especially during the reign of Ceausescu, uh, you know, long ago, they were, the Romanians were very proud of Dracula, still are, and were really they didn't like. I mean, government especially did not like the kind of bad rap that he got by being in what they called that drunk Irishman's book. I mean, they hated uh, Bram Stoker for writing Dracula and making Dracula seem like a villainous monster. Even though, I mean, if you look back in history, he was pretty bloody. I mean, he did not care. He just all he knew is that whatever he needed to do, he would do it to keep the borders of uh, Wallachia safe from invading armies uh, during that period of his life. And it was a bloody, bloody, grotesque job. There's no wonder that Romania. I mean, that whole area abounds with ancient tales of the bloodiness of it, and that's where you get your blood countess Elizabeth Báthory and all that kind of stuff. So crazy times, crazy, crazy ancient stories that led to the myths and legends of vampire lore. Fun stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was a man and he impaled. Basically, the stories behind that were essentially he impaled because uh, the enemy, the Ottoman Turk, would impale. They'd behead and impale and throw people upon spikes. But essentially, the torture of impaling that would lead to death was essentially him saying, "I need you to benefit my war chest. Are you, hey, you're the richest merchants of the land. Are you going to give me money so I can continue to fight this war?" And they said the first ones he asked said no, and so then he asked another group, and that group, when they came in, found all the first group impaled on spikes on the road leading up to where he was sitting out with breakfast laid out, and said, "Join me for breakfast." Now I'm going to ask you the same question I asked them.
Oh,
Hopefully your answer is more pleasing. So yeah, those were bloody times for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess you could call him a badass. I mean, eventually, you get hoisted on your own petard. He eventually died because he was captured by the Ottoman Turk and killed in one of the battles. I think in the Borgo Pass. I forget exactly where he died, but yeah, yeah, and he wanted to be. He wanted the reputation of a monster, and so eventually that caught up with him, and they treated him like a monster for sure. Once they finally caught him, and but that's they were very reticent to invade. The tales of him were so profoundly powerful and frightening that it took a lot for them to want to capture him. No one wanted to get near him. Cool stuff. But anyway, that was my long-winded explanation of why I'm Nimrod Ionescu. U.S. wasn't the first group killed. Which group? Oh, the first group of the merchants. Yes, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, but man, the Carpathians were. I mean, the Carpathian Mountains were filled with ancient legends of all that kind of stuff. But they weren't called. They didn't call them. They didn't call those monsters vampires themselves. They had different names for them. They called them Strigoi. And in fact, if you all played D&D, any of you all old timers who might have played Dungeons and Dragons when you're younger, a la Stranger Things, there was there was an old uh, set of modules that they had their own. It was Strahd von Zarovich. That was the name of the vampire, and so that vampire Strahd lived in his castle up in whatever mountains of the world of Greyhawk or whatever it was, wherever it was set. And the little village that he terrorized down like in the valleys in the dark forest near where his castle was, that the village was called Stregoikvar, which I don't know why they called it that, but Stregoi is the old word for uh, is the old word for vampire spirit. You know, the thing that would drink your blood that dwelt in those dark forests. Oh, did you say you turned 26 3 days ago? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you watch Stranger Things, I was those kids in those basements playing Dungeons and Dragons. That watching that was like watching watching a replay of my life without all the crazy life death defying monsters entering into the picture. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. I am 58 years old. Yay! Behold, everything about me speaks of having been in the computer industry so long that it has aged me well. I'm not sure it's aged me like fine wine though.
You can't be 58 because that makes me 59.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Oh God, I
Yes.
lost a year someplace.
Oh gosh, it happens. It does happen. Don't feel too bad. Oh, a night owl. You were born in 1964. Nice. So you're four. You get to enjoy being 4 years older than me right now. Yay! You're 62 ish. Oh yeah, yeah. You wouldn't have had uh you wouldn't have been doing first edition D&D. Yeah, and I totally was. I was doing D&D back in the days when it was still in a cardboard box with uh, uh you know a monochrome blue looking dragon on the front of it or whatever it was. My
Yes,
first my
that,
first console was an Atari 2600. Well, unless you count the old Pong device I had that had real wood paneling on it.
that actually technically wasn't first edition. That was the expert set.
Oh, was that the expert set?
Yeah, there was a red, blue, and green sets. The red set was the basic, then the blue, I believe, was the expert, then the green was the what was it, companion or something like that? Something
Ooh,
with a C.
yeah.
I
I
can't
mean,
remember.
and it's been so long because we didn't even know what we were dealing with back then when I first got that box because it was in Bismarck, Arkansas. I mean, they didn't have no one had access to hobby stores back there, and so like I got some hand me down copy that had been given, and it still had the dice in it that you had to rub with a crayon to fill in the numbers. If you remember those damn things.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. It came with the crayon too.
It came with a crayon to color the numbers in. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
And the old crayon stump was still in there because I mine was inherited from God knows where.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And that was at the very beginning of the days that would turn into the what do they call it, the satanic scare, where
Oh yeah.
everyone was trying to convince like uh uh you know everybody else that everyone who played D&D worshiped the devil. So yeah, if you played D&D you were automatically a devil worshiper, yeah, as far as everyone was concerned. Satanic panic, yay. So dumb.
Well, sadly, I was looking to see, but they're actually in one of my chests. I when I started Dungeons and Dragons, there wasn't even a box set. There weren't no red, blue, everything was sepia tone, and these little pamphlets. by a company called Tactical Simulations.
Oh, yeah, that was back before there was really any role playing at all. It was all battle board wargaming. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
it was all charts, and just the booklets were just to give you the structure, and that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got there's a silver one, chainmail and something I can't remember. These were all made by Gary.
Oh yeah, Gary Gygax. Yeah. Yeah, those were the earliest days. I was in it. I was in it once role playing was conceived to be a thing, but it was also, if any of you all play paper role playing games at all, I mean, because they've made a big return recently in the last years, especially since COVID. Everyone started playing paper role playing games again.
Yeah.
Um, and but those versions of them were very different from our earliest versions. Like back in the day when like Boot Hill and Gamma World came out and things like that, they didn't even have skills. Like you didn't have skills that you rolled to do individual things like, oh, rope tricks and I'm gonna no, a thief. The only skill a thief had was you had a thief skill, and that was the single set of dice you rolled to see if you could steal something. That's all it was. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like if you were a dwarf, you had a skill that you could detect sloping passages. It's like, well, that's so useful. That and a marble can do the same thing. Thanks. Thank you, dwarf power of detecting sloping passages. Yeah. And I think the assassin had the assassin skill, the assassination skill. And again, that was the set of dice you rolled to see if you killed the person. That was all the skills you got. Enjoy. And then it was just fighting. You fight or you cast spells. That's all you get. Super cool. But I can't complain. Those were definitely fun times for sure. Okay, it's time to do the last bit on this and then do the remapping of this thing and make it as good as it needs to be. Because right now the UV mapping sucks on it with an extra uck. Okay, let's see. Oh gosh, Ultimate Pagan. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, Dennis LeBay had to repaint that because they did not like the giant blazing red fiery pentacle at all.
Ooh, Blizzard?
Well, no, not, I don't know if it was Blizzard, but whoever was everybody who was in
It,
charge of making those decisions screamed about the pagan cover.
yeah,
Then,
it was Walmart. They actually threatened suit.
oh really?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, did not like it. Hated it. They were
Yeah.
they were upset over that. So funny. But yeah, you looking back further than that, like Hex Six Studios said, man, my Atari, I remember when I first got Missile Command, I thought that was the most amazingly cool thing. But then for me, for the Atari is when I forget who it was. It was Atari only was putting out the games for a while, but then another company made some other companies that could, I mean, other games that could fit into the Atari 2600, and like Phoenix and a bunch of other things came out that was like that started to become like these, ooh, those are new and cool graphics, right? And so like Defender, I mean, man, I loved it when Defender came out. I thought that was super cool because I love playing that game in the arcade, and the power to be able to play that at home was like magic
Mm.
back in those days.
I have a gauntlet sitting over here, and
Oh
my cent
wow.
my centipede and millipede and missile command are in the other room.
Nice. Yeah, it's hard to beat the cool factor of some of those old games. And then Don Bluth came out with like Dragon's Lair and stuff like that, and you just fed quarters into it for hours. I could go through an entire couple reams of $10 worth of quarters, like just trying to copy the motions necessary to win that damn game.
Unless you were holding the keys, which I still have my keys to the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a night manager at an arcade in Jersey Shore.
Oh, that's funny.
Dragon's Lair, yep. Yeah.
You had cheat keys to Dragon's Lair?
No, not cheat keys.
Oh,
Keys.
just to
Yeah,
not have to pay quarters.
right. Yeah, pump up the credits and wait until you kick all the rats out of the place and then close the doors and then we would just sit there and beat all the games.
Yeah, you play to your heart's content.
Yeah, it was fun. So my first this is my second gauntlet machine. My first gauntlet machine I brought home because we upgraded. We actually no, we downgraded. We downgraded a Gauntlet 2 to a Gauntlet,
Oh,
and I brought home the Gauntlet 2 motherboard and a spare raster monitor I got the control panel and so I had everything except for the case and
hmm.
I would set it up on milk crates and my friends would come
Wow.
over on Friday and we would just sit there and play Gauntlet for hours and hours.
That's cool.
Yeah. We actually wrapped it at one point. There's 255 levels.
That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. Gauntlet. I mean, for me, Gauntlet was that. I mean, because it felt like then it was unwinnable. You get to a certain point and you could barely go out above the lava before arms come up and pull you down. But man, that was such a cool idea. The idea of riding, these war ostriches. The concession that they could even fly at all was ridiculous. Okay, let's see now. What did I do? I somehow got rid of. Somehow hit a button and made my. Oh man, what did I do? I hit a button and made my. I made all my buttons go away on the right hand side, but it was a. What did I hit?
Oh, with the docked
Yeah,
menus go away?
yeah. All my menus on the right side went away, and I must have just hit some button. What could I have possibly hit that would have done that?
I think there's a way to reset your desktop, you know, to,
Let's see.
uh, yeah, you're probably gonna need to do the reset workspace thing, which you might want to save first, because I don't think it unloads the model, but you never know.
Right. There we go. I had to do some Google food real quick. Control X. I must have hit Control X by accident instead of just X at one point.
Oh, what is that like maximize or something?
Yeah, well, essentially Control tilde shows or hides the UI elements. But if the command panel, which is what's on the right, if the command panel itself is hidden, Control X toggles expert mode is what they call it.
Oh, okay. All right. Good
Yeah.
night, Hex. Hex says it's time to go to bed. It's almost 3:30 over there, apparently.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well, yeah, and it's 2:28 for us. So it was great talking to you. Enjoy the night, and thanks for coming and visiting us. Oh, you're an ex Disney animator. Oh, talking about Don Bluth. Oh, I see.
yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, Hex. Hope to see you in game.
yeah. Take care, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, this became a, a trip down memory lane, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, because I use X to turn my gizmo on and off, essentially, at times, and that's what I did. I hit Control X by accident.
Hmm, gotcha.
Fool that I am. Oh, good. Yeah, he said he'll be back. We're a bunch of cool nerds. Ah,
Cool.
we try. Okay. I don't need that. I do need that. Don't need this. I need that.
Um, well, here we go.
What's wrong?
I'm gonna start populating fire elementals and dungeons. I'm bored. I want to kill some players. All right, so we got the Lake Grotto, which is not finished yet. This one, the Black Boot. So we got 3 rooms. I think they're the same. Yep. Duplicate them. All right, so I gotta figure out what the new naming convention is. Don't remember where the hell that is either. We have things written down. Let's see if I can find this damn thing. Yeah, there it is. Let's see here. Cave stone.
It is 2:34. I may need to leave by 3 so I don't go crazy with staying up too late.
Yeah, yeah, I got people coming over tomorrow too, so I'm gonna have to go to sleep soon. Don't want to, but I have to.
Hopefully they're coming over for fun reasons.
No, no,
No fun.
no.
Sorry about that. That's never enjoyable.
This is the most fun I ever have. What are you talking about? This is all I need. You know, just need my monitor, my computer, my coding IDE, and you know, maybe my dog. No, I don't need my dog. But um, description. Food and drink. No, I don't need that. Definitely don't need that. Food and drink is definitely something I don't want. Don't need it. Sleeping is definitely optional.
Okay, that is ID 5. This is ID 4. Okay, so that needs to all be. This needs to all be ID 4. And this should all be ID 1.
It's displacement. Okay. Probable room. Okay, let's see. Well, First things first. This is one of the rooms that I converted from. This used to be a pool, blue marble pool room, I think it was. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go through the hierarchy and make sure that everything is clean the way it should be. Probably ain't.
Hmm.
First off, right there. That's exclusion. This only has one entrance. I have lots of good knowledge about this whole thing with the pets and everything. Not what going from room to room and all that.
You said you do have good knowledge of it?
Yeah, last time I was working on the spider room, on with these guys, um, I uh, uh, I was actually showing how I could extend the nav mesh to the actual edge of the um, of the prefab, where
Ah,
if, as a stub hallway or whatever, and then that's where the other room would, you know, link together with it. And I figured, well, if I get the two nav meshes right next to each other, maybe I could get the pets to keep going or something. Of course, no, it doesn't work that way. But I found out is that I could have um, a 4 meter gap between nav meshes and it'll still work
oh,
as long as I do the proper link stuff, which is what I have to recode. I have to make changes in the nav mesh code for that. Um, and there's the grid. The grid's there. Where's the small grid? It's weird. My grid is only showing me uh, 10 meters. It's like stuck on a 10-meter grid. Why?
in Unity?
Yeah,
Huh, that's weird.
it is weird. Oh, I'm gonna focus on there. All right, I had to focus on some on the floor. Now it's showing it to me. Okay, that's this, this. Collision. Okay, good. We are 1 centimeter in. So that's my placement collision leeway. I'm giving myself 1 centimeter on every edge.
Hmm.
So I want to make sure that was right. And it is. Important things. This is using the wrong hammers. So I gotta swap those out. You have to use the right hammer for the right job.
But everything is still a nail.
Of
Every problem is still, or at least when I'm
course.
using Max, I want it to be because I want to beat it with a hammer quite often.
These are my optimized, correctly angled, properly located dungeon piece connection hammers. Yeah, see, these numbers are all wrong. They're supposed to be all zeros and half meter in. I was looking up the whole thing. You know the oh crap, I forget what you call it. The rounding error.
Yeah, the rounding error,
Yeah, yeah. So
point rounding.
yeah. So the interesting thing is that I could fix that in 2018, but it's not worth my time because when we go to six, we'll be up there. But
Right.
apparently it's been corrected. So um,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And
that's
it,
interesting to know.
and it was exact. I mean, it's not you just saying calling it that. I mean, it literally said that Unity had rounding errors.
Yeah.
And what it really is that they said that you could avoid it by not making objects children of other objects.
Mm,
That's actually where the math went wrong. And the uh, the ones where we get the E, whatever the hell, I forget there's a name for that, right? When the overload type of thing. And that's actually because just like on a calculator, there's not enough space to actually show the whole the whole string of numbers,
yeah.
and that's what Unity is actually doing is calculating out that far.
Oh,
And there's actually a utility, a package that you could install that will help force Unity to stick to um, uh, the hundredths, you know, so 2 digits after the decimal, which is what I've always said, right? I like making sure that the numbers are either whole or if I have to tweak it, the numbers are only 2 decimals, and then that's it. I get rid of the rest. Yes,
right.
the rest of those numbers are not going to make a difference on where it is actually on the screen. And all it's doing is adding overhead for calculation.
Oh, really?
Yep. But apparently they fixed that.
Well, that's good because that was I mean, it is a currently for us right now a pain in the ass.
Yeah. That's the new one. It's the old one. That goes bye bye. Let me name it. I go away. There we go. All right. Piece one. And for anybody who's actually paying attention to me mumbling along, you will now see that we have the box collider. That's the bounding box that you click on when you're going to activate the hammers to manage your connection to another dungeon room. And as you will see here, that the hammers are straight, flat, properly aligned, and dead center in the hallway at the right height and in forward in the box. Plus, I know I showed this off in the past, but plus there's this little square patch that I put on the back of the hammers. Just a little plane. I think it's plane. It's a quad. No, it's quad because it's less polys for the quad. Um, and that tells me which way the hammers need to be aiming, because the direction of the hammers actually tells the game which direction the new room gets attached. So if the hammers are in backwards, your new hallway or whatever will go back into the room that you already have there. That's never fun. Trust me, it's never fun. So anyway, there's that, and this is the only it's only a one room, a one door room. So I think this is the first room. Yeah, this is the first room I made into out of volcanic rock.
Oh, that one right there.
Yeah, with the red pillars. I love these red pillars. I really am, very much goth. I would definitely be happier in black clothes all the time, and so red and black definitely my thing. Okay, so we got that. Now let's connection visuals. I need to relink that. Swapped it out. Make sure my end cap is there. Good. Everything's great. But the end cap is not in here. Oh, what the hell? Why do that? Why? Why?
It hates you.
Yeah, I think so. Um, well, guess what? You need that. I'm rebuilding things. It had no special tags on it, no layers, nothing in it, and then it had the real end cap inside of it for some stupid reason. So get rid of that, and then I have to go back over here, and I have to relink this. Okay. Exciting, right?
Super exciting. But it all has to be done. Exciting or not, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Gotta do it.
Yep. All right. All the pits, layout, sound effects, trap. Oh dear, there's a trap in here. Um, I have to get back and fix this too. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the trap. That's fine. Sound effects. Okay, that's all good. Where is the? There's one change that I've been making on these things.
One change, you said?
Yeah, I'm adding a. I'll probably do this on the houses too. Instead of having the LOD group on the parent object of the
Yeah.
prefab, uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a child of that parent. Put the LOD. It'll actually. I forget what I called it, and I just did the spider room. I did it in there. It's like LOD parent or LOD something. And so that way, when you go into the prefab, because one thing that's annoying with the LODs is when you click on the object that has the LOD group in it, then everything is going to light up, no matter what, you know.
Ah,
And it shows you the LOD stuff. So if you want to be able to go around the room without having all the wire showing, or whatever, gizmos you have turned on, then you really need um, another object above the LOD group.
ah.
So that way it doesn't activate all that crap. And so anyway, that also then allows you to separate off other elements that may need to be siblings of the LOD instead of part of the LOD.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to all get this right because there's going to be a test. Okay, And I'll tell you, the test is at 9 a.m.,
Sharp.
3 p.m., and 11 a.m. on Saturday.
And no crib notes are allowed. Damn you, I say.
Damn you all to hell.
In the name of the satanic panic, all of you.
You did it, you bastards. You finally did it. Best movie ever. And that's with me as an extremely huge Good, Bad, and the Ugly fan. All right. So anyway, I'm getting distracted. Just make sure my well, the lava pit. This is everything that's in the lava pit. See, the lava pit extends out a little bit. Uh, I know there's a report about somebody getting thrown out of this room because of this trap. Really wanted to make this into a slide instead of a flip, but it has to move fast, otherwise players can get out of it. Oh, did I say that?
They must never escape.
That's right. All right, so fishing. Well, I know this is all right because I spent a lot of time on that mess. That right. So lava pit is good. And why is lighting? That Zolivar guy sucks.
He's so demanding.
Man, it's just sloppy. Ugh. All the lighting was a child of the lava pit.
That's odd.
Yeah, well, it happens. That's why I'm cleaning it up again. I'm just going through everything, making sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Um, for instance, here we are with a port cave kit cave hall straight. It's an empty friggin' thing, uh, and the child object is port cave hall straight. So why, just extra hierarchy that doesn't need to be there. So extract that, get rid of this. Here it's all the stuff. Everything is fine. I said everything's fine.
Don't you believe it?
Here's another one. Yeah, this is untagged default. It has a bunch of numbers and it's transform, which child will inherit and bring along with it. So there you go. Now we can save ourselves nested hierarchy, which you don't need. Stair ramp. Okay, that needs to be there. That needs to be there. EFX. That all needs to be where that is. But wait a minute. Why is this? No. Yeah. Okay. That can stay there. All right. All right. Lava pit is clean. Lighting is good. Oh, there we go. So, there. How's that look, guys? Is that enough lighting?
Well, only runtime will tell.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. These are all points of light. They're not expensive in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, good.
And The ambiance in this room is totally awesome. The red glow, all these lights are red. In fact, they're blood red. Um, I dare say, let me check. Are they? No, they're not. Um, they're close, but they're not quite Ravalox red. I actually have a number, a specific red tone that I use my name against. But
Is that
the
because of a certain preference you have, or what is that?
it's a longer story, but it has to do with everybody's got like a number that follows them around throughout their life,
Oh,
like a lucky number type of thing.
oh,
Yeah. So I have one of those, but mine's a hex number, believe it or not. It's I'm not gonna say what it is because you never know, somebody might try to leverage that, but um, in some stupid ass way. But the uh, the hex it's been in serial numbers. It just shows up everywhere. It's unbelievable. So sadly, because it's hex, I can't bet on it for a lottery or nothing. So assholes, how dare they stop in decimal? Um, all right. So anyway, let's see. Lava Bright. That's cute. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So, well, I mean, the try. It's like if you get caught in the trap and you have a high enough health stats and good decks, you could make it to the ramps here and just scoot the hell out. But you have to kind of know that the ramps are there. I mean, I did test it to make sure that it was survivable. I did survive at least one of the times I got caught in the trap. All right, so lighting is good. Dungeon room setup, lighting, lava pit, layouts. So, and then this is, I guess, oh, it's just a single. No, oh, okay, it's got a little FX. Yeah, yeah, we'll leave it there. That doesn't get an underscore because it's an actual thing. But, all right, layout.
what doesn't it? What doesn't get an underscore?
The object in the
Oh,
hierarchy. I'm tempted to put it into an object for organizational purposes, but then I'm creating another layer of hierarchy that's just not needed.
mm.
Yes, so all right. So there's a lot of deco surface in here. Yeah, see, this is like all this does not need. Well, actually, this is the spawning version, so this deco surface is all going bye bye. Say a wave. Can you say bye bye? Bye bye. uh, yeah, spawning rooms are not allowed to have decorations. Too much of a chance of exploit. So,
And I mean, and I'm actually interested to hear where, like, give me an example of the kind of exploit that could manifest due to decoration.
oh sure, yeah, because you set up the room to spawn, right? So you as the player, you put your totem in, you go into the room on the first time, you see where the mobs spawned. Then if you had deco surfaces, you go in there and you box them in with building blocks, whatever. And then the mobs can't move, and you could go in there and beat them to death without getting hurt.
Ah,
That's you know, very
because
typical.
the mobs recognize place decoration and uh, their collision shapes.
Yeah, because what happens is you put down the decorations, and then when come back in and the scene initializes,
Yeah.
the scene recognizes the collision on the objects, and because the mobs are absolutely blind. They don't really know that the walls are there or anything. So they're just going by the nav mesh. So what happens is that the scene says, "Oh, well, there are objects here." And so we are going to do nav mesh cut. It's just, it basically cuts a hole in the nav mesh so that way the NPCs can't walk into that item. So if you
Ah,
box them in, you've effectively blocked them from moving anywhere, and it has nothing to do with the blocks being there. It's because the nav mesh has been eliminated, um, and then they get stuck.
ah.
So that allows you to go in there and do whatever the hell you want. Um, you know, and of course, you may recall the phrase "big blue box disease."
Oh yes.
Yeah. So that those blue boxes are the nav mesh cut boxes. They're um, uh, there's another phrase for that, but basically those are the things that go in place around place deco, so that way when the scene loads, it looks for those boxes, and
Ah.
that's where it cuts um, the nav mesh. So in the past, again, for people who don't know, we had a mysterious problem actually that nobody could figure out for a long time. And one of our guys on the team, this Zolivar guy, he just actually to be serious, it was a mistake. Just by chance, I was actually doing something else, working on a different issue, and happened to change over to the scene tab when the game was running, and saw I mean the normal blue boxes were there, and I've always seen them, and I knew that they were there. Never really paid attention to what they were for, but we had uh, a haystack. Literally, it's just a decoration haystack, about the, let's say, the diameter of two player characters standing next to each other, right? Um, and if a player placed that haystack anywhere on their property, all of their, if they put down a pet, the pet would just teleport right off the lot onto the pot, onto the pot, the player-owned town land, or their neighbor's lot, or disappear completely, or fail to spawn. And what was happening was that the blue box was not the size of the haystack. It was the size of the POT. I mean, it was like when I went in there and I actually clicked on that tab, and I looked around and it was like, why am I seeing, and this is it's like, why am I seeing a blue box all the way up in the sky? What the hell's that one for? And then I took my camera and I zoomed all the way out, and then I realized because it was centered on that haystack, I was like, oh, that's what's going on. That's part of the whole education. Figured out, well, that it was in um was it navigation prevention, I think is what it's actually called. And uh, basically, it was uh, a third party asset, right? So the haystack came from somewhere else. It was made at a different scale. And when they brought it into the game, they sized it up. I think that, yes, they sized it up because it was like I don't know, we're in meters and it was in centimeters or some baloney like that. So it was like 100 times for the renderer to be the size that it needed to be the size of two people. It was literally like 100 or 1,000 times bigger than it should have been, right? And the blue box got 1,000 times bigger than what it should have been. And what this was caused by was in the 3D modeling software that whoever used it, let's say 3D Max, when they, after assuming they did collapse their stack, they didn't go and reset the X form. The transform didn't get reset.
Yeah, reset the transform. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big deal.
So so basically well, you actually may remember this because there were some lava fish that you were involved with, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that had the big blue box disease in it. And those lava fish had the lava fish were, I don't know, maybe like 3 meters long. They're trophy fish, and in the game, the blue box was the size of a city lot. So, same type of thing. Anybody who went near the stuff, their NPCs, any of the NPCs would either steer clear of the area because it was in that box, or if you were inside the box as a player and you tried to spawn a player vendor or a pet or whatever, that pet would teleport. You know, it's like you're putting me down in lava. So it just teleports its way the hell out. Get outside that box. Um, and they were simple fixes. All we had to really do was open up the FBX file for each one, reset the transform, make sure that the rotation was proper, and put it back in the game, and it was done. So there probably, and I have to say, because there's 20,000 assets in the game, there's got to be a few left out there. But all the ones that were actually causing problems, it only took us like once we figured it out. I guess it only took us like a few months to go through and wipe out all of them. I mean, I think we wiped out most of them in probably a week. It's a simple fix, but nobody knew. Nobody knew, and I only found it by chance.
Well, yeah, it's something you have to really notice.
Yep.
That's the problem is that you have to be paying super close attention to even notice that it was an issue. And we don't have as many people like playing and testing as we once did. So, we only have so much time to test, really.
Yep. Well, we still encourage everybody to come onto the QA server, the bug brigade and stuff like that. So, sadly, the thing we don't have time is to keep building QA builds and publishing them as often as we would like to. Um,
Right.
Not to mention the fact that it's like because of the pace is a little slower, because the team is slower. Uh, when we're working on stuff that's it's a surprise, you know, um, then we don't really want to publish QA and reveal what the hell we're working on.
Right. Yeah.
Players are like that; they figure things out.
Yeah.
See, like this is stupid here. It's like this is 89.999998. It's really supposed to be 90. Same thing with this. It's supposed to be 1.25, 1.65, but see, it added a zero on it. No, it took it away. Okay, good. This is supposed to be one. No, that's N. See, that's how that's supposed to look. And it'll stay that way until somebody actually even if I drag this object and put it somewhere else in the hierarchy, it will change these numbers. And it's not supposed to. But that's the problem is that there's a bug in Unity where it keeps on recalculating stuff every time every time you move something around. It's basically, I mean, there's definitely a purpose for it where you move things around and it's supposed to say, okay, where am I? Because it's supposed to inherit scale and things like that from its parents. But Unity does a really crappy job of inheriting the right numbers. Um, so larger than life scaling, yeah, absolutely. If it was a server or something, we'd be in rolling in the money. Larger than life scaling. Ha. Hey, you know what? When we're gonna quit in probably about a half an hour, or no, maybe 15 minutes, because I think my alarm is set to go off at 3:30 for
Yeah.
the coffee break.
Yeah. Which will really be nighty night for me, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
There'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
no coffee break. There'll be bye bye.
Right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So, um, it's the first real test of it. Now, some of you might say, well, why bother changing it from 89.99998 to 90? Well, I'll tell you, because you ever hear of something called crawling ants? That one little point keeping it, I mean, it's what, 100 thousandths of a fraction, is keeping it from being absolutely straight, even though it doesn't look like it changes its position on the screen. It really does. And when I was building the initial run for the eighth level of Hell, I had to go back through the room structure 3 times because sadly at that moment when I was building the initial stuff, still not I still didn't yet know that if I used the rotation tool in the game, and you hold down control and it's supposed to do, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever the hell it is, 180, so on and so forth. And For the most part, it does, but then it'll leave you with those damn fractions. So what you really should be doing is typing in the goddamn numbers. Um, so uh, Basically I had to go through the whole dungeon because as it's like uh, as I was taught how to make dungeons from List and Atos and all those guys were like, oh yeah, no, it's this dungeon key. Everything snaps together. All you do is just make sure you use the control key and and say there it is. Have fun. And then of course I'm doing it and all my pieces are like catty corner weird ass crap and I could see through them and it's a sky dome outside. All that stuff. So I was complaining about that for a long time. That it's like it just seemed so fragile a system, and what it really is because this whole rounding error bullshit with um, Unity. So I am definitely looking forward to getting the hell off of this version of Unity and getting up to something new. Because even if the new Unity has this problem, there is a code change that could be made. Um, I could restrict the number of places that a float or a long goes. So I could stop it from doing that. Is the inspectors are custom, right? So I could go in there and do that stuff. It's exposed. But hopefully they fixed the damn thing in the newer Unities. That was the feeling that I got when I was Googling that stuff. It appeared to be termed in past tense. Why is that negative 0.1? Where is this thing? It's highlighted. Okay, I do not know why that is sunk down. If this one's point 0.1, then we'll leave it that way. Yes, it is. Okay, so there must be a reason for it. Whatever. This.
Then my neighbor's dog is going crazy outside, probably because one of the many different either possums or raccoons is probably walking along the top of the fence at
Uh,
reach, and
that's
it's
that.
yeah,
That's that dog that's catty corner to you.
it's the one that's right behind me, the little barky bark.
Oh,
Uh,
the little one. All right. Yeah, this
like
is a bigger one to the left.
yeah, there's a bigger one there. No, this is the barky bark backyard dog,
Uh,
and it's losing its tiny little mind right now. Is what's happening.
mhm.
Oops,
All right.
sorry, barky bark.
That's all done. All right. Good. These are all 0. Oh, okay. Cap C. Um, cap. Why does it say LED sumo pillar column? Oh, this is an empty. That's why. Oh yeah. See this? Look at this. Look at this bullshit. Look at this. You need to fire your masons. Jesus. You know.
The Masons are long gone.
Uh,
Sorry. Sorry.
yeah. See, these are stretched out. These are scaled up 100, 100 by 100 by 100.
Wow.
Yeah. This is an example of what I'm talking about. Um,
Yeah, that's not good.
yeah. And because these are baked in, you don't get the big blue box disease. But if this was player placeable, that would be a candidate to have big blue box disease. And the big blue box disease is attached to this collider right here.
My brain kept hearing you say the Big Lebowski
Mm.
because it very well may have the Big Lebowski.
Scales, point, 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 point. No, see, this is, and it's because it's the parent, it's affecting everything else, and that's why it's not good. Not good. Nope, 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 nope. Not acceptable. Uh,
No, no, hated it. Basically, is what you're saying.
yeah, well, you see, look, all right. I mean, can you see what I'm doing on my screen?
I can.
Okay, so they have the parent. Each one of these is the column, right? So I'll close up a bunch of them so so you could see. There's the column structure, all right, and the parent of the column is the mesh collider. We'll go over to the one that I'm actually highlighting. So there, right, and you can see the mesh collider is not the right height, but there's nothing else in this object. There's nothing special about it. It's not tagged. It's not no layer special or anything, and it's the parent of an empty. And underneath the empty is the actual cap and the actual pillar um, renderer, right? The actual
Ah,
rendered mesh. This should be the mesh collider should either be in this empty or it should be a sibling under the empty of the two renders. Because if I go to change the height of this um, collider, the mesh collider, it affects because the children inherit the transform from the parent. They made their mesh collider the parent, and then an empty, and then the actual renderer is buried deep inside for no reason. Now, I mean, I put this room together, but I didn't make these prefabs; they were already
yeah,
there. You
yeah.
know,
You didn't make the pieces you were building from.
yeah, and because actually this room was already all I do is change the color of the pillars. This was a pool room, but even List made the pool room. But the thing is that he didn't make those pillars that way either. That this was all already pre set up type stuff.
Ah,
So it's just this is the wrong structure. This is not how this should be. I mean, if it was a standalone prefab, yes, the mesh collider. Um, Actually, no. If it's a mesh collider, remember way back in the day, had some conversations about like if you have a prefab, there was like a time where you said, well, I swear that they said that you had to have a collider or a box collider in the parent of the prefab, right?
right, right.
Yeah, yeah. So now that's true if you don't have a mesh collider. If you have a mesh collider anywhere in that prefab, the prefab is going to use the mesh collider to stick to the surface of, if it's going to be a player object. The mesh collider will stick to whatever surface it is you're going to use in the game. So the parent of the object doesn't have to have anything in it. It could be the parent for organizational purposes for all the stuff that's underneath it, which is preferable to having a single object, which everything dumped into it, right? Because then you can't troubleshoot. But when you have a mesh collider, in this case, mesh collider should not be in the parent. If anything, the mesh collider should be in the same um, object as the renderer. You have your mesh renderer, you have your mesh filter, which mesh filter is basically the mesh, and then the renderer is attaching itself to the mesh filter, so that's how you get to see your object in the game. And then what should be happening here is there should be another component with the mesh collider underneath it. But the thing is that what they did is they broke up this column into two pieces. They made a cap and they made the pillar. And they did that so that way you could actually extend that pillar and make it longer or shorter or whatever. I completely understand what they did there, but the problem is they didn't split up the mesh collider into two pieces, which they should have done.
Uh, and some of that stuff was a lot of them were flying by the seat of their pants anyway.
Mhm. Oh yeah, and I'm not even saying this is because this doesn't have a port name on it or anything. I don't even know if this is third party or what. I'm more likely this is third party. But it's just years later, it's causing a problem because now I have to rebuild these.
Right, right. And there's really no other way around it. I mean, it's just sort of it's going to be it sort of is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, and then, I mean, it's like on one side, the it's good that the thing inherits its transform numbers, but then on the other side, now the numbers are all frigged up. See, now I made so all it's do is dragging around. I mean, I'm sitting here bitching for the last 5 minutes about it, but all it is dragging stuff around. But now I got to do it for every single column, and I have to go back to the other dungeon room that I know is using this and fix those too. Um,
Right, and that's a pain in the butt.
yeah, and let's see. So I got my mesh collider here, and we will leave the mesh collider separate because of the fact that it's one piece. But I now can go in here and make an adjustment. See, yeah, that's right. It didn't really change position or anything for that. So now the mesh collider is really like 1.1, not even 1.05. Where is the? I mean, I'm doing this first one just for really to figure this out, but um,
For shits and giggles.
yeah, I was thinking that I wasn't gonna say it though.
It's okay. I said it for you.
Yeah. All right, so you could actually see that it's this where the green line is brighter, assuming that everybody can see that. That's this is where the ridge of this box is up here in its renderer, so it's probably very close to 1.10. Yeah, look at that there, 1.85, 6, 8.7, 8.8, 8, 8.9. So I would say it's and this just shows you right here that something's screwy because the size on this should be 1, and this means that something is not right. 1.088. Yeah, I mean I could get it even more exact if I really wanted it to, but see now the collider is where it really needs to be, so that way. players won't be able to cut through it or anything, right? So that's, that's what that's doing, is just stopping the player from being able to walk through the pillar. But here's the thing, you ask me, it's like, well, Ravelox, it was only down by, I mean, you know, what? Well, 0.088, right? So here, let's take the there. So it was down this low, right? Well, what's the big deal with that? I mean, the player's not going to be able to reach up there and put their hand through that part of the pillar. I mean, there's nothing stopping it, for something going right through it. But a pet might be able to get up there. That's the thing. I mean, we've seen this in other situations. If the Depending on what the collision methodology is on this thing, assuming that there is mesh, as a mesh collider is a quad, so that's it's safe. But if there was any more air above this thing, then a pet could end up teleporting onto the top of the pillar if there are nav mesh problems.
Right.
And we have seen this happen inside houses. So, you know, but anyway, that's why, and that, I mean, there's a reason why this stuff is made the way it is. Otherwise, I would just have a stick going down here to stop you from walking through it, and that would take care of it. That would be done. So anyway, what time is it now? 3:30. So in theory, my alarm is going to go off soon. I don't remember. I don't want to go look at it for fear that I'm going to break it, or make it work because I looked at it, right? Well, I've not I've tested it. Uh, I tested it by changing the time in the script when it's expected for Perforce to go into maintenance mode.
Right.
And it's like, did I turn off the gas? I'm pretty sure that I put it back. But if I go in there and look in the menu or something, because just by bringing up the configuration screen, I may be forcing those variables to be reset. So if it doesn't work, then there's a problem, right? And if it does work, then great. But if I go in there and say, oh, I'm anxious, I want to just double check on what my numbers are, and then it works, then I will never really know if it worked because it was gonna work, or if it worked because I touched something.
Right. Right. That's always the concern.
Yep. Well, it's real. All right. So let me see what we got here. 1.088. Irritate the crap out of me. And see, the parent of the column has the column at 0.95 and zero point 0.8 and zero point 0.5, and so none of this is right. This really needs to be brought into 3ds Max and fixed for real. But obviously, I'm not going to be doing that. Um, the reason why I'm not going to be doing that is because if I did it, I don't know how many places this column is actually used. I know at least one of the places where it's used. In fact, two of them. It's used in the lava lake room, and it's used in the blue marble pool room for sure. And but if it's used elsewhere in the game, if I change anything, then it's going to change it everywhere else in the game. So
So it's best if we just don't.
yeah, for the moment, because I could I've already been writing a lot. I've been writing a lot of tools, and so a lot of the coding I've been doing, I've been creating tools and search utilities and things like that. So basically, I could take. I can't do it right now because I don't think I did this one yet. But I could take a mesh and let's say and put that mesh into the search tool, and it will spew out a report of every object that that mesh is attached to in the game completely. So then I can make a determination if it's 5,000 items, well, I'm not touching that. But if it's like 35 or whatever, then I could go and I could fix it and go back and fix all those things. And even in this situation, this isn't something just that little height change that I would really go and do that. But um, if it was something that would potentially have the big box disease, or if it did have the big box disease, then I would need to go, fix that, and I need to make sure if somebody didn't leverage the fact that it was incorrectly sized, because maybe they wanted it to be, maybe they set it to one, right? Because they wanted to make uh, I'm gonna go crazy here with this, right? Like a roll top writing desk, and they wanted fancy wood pillar looking things for the pigeonholes, and
Ah,
right. So and this thing is like 100 times bigger than it's supposed to be. So if they set it to one, it will be a little toothpick, and then they put it in. And then if I go into the 3ds Max and reset its transform properly to bring it up to the size that it was expected to be in our game, which is a 10-foot pillar, then that guy's pigeonholes are not going to be there anymore. So yeah, it's that's a lot of impact. And I did make a tool for searching out materials and textures for that, because again, we're going to be changing all the stuff that's TGA and TIFF, Targa and TIFFs, to PNGs. And actually, I have everything aligned and ready for this. So I can now, um, if I go into a folder, there's several folders where these things are. If I go into a folder and I change the, I grab all the images in there and I convert them all to PNGs. I run them through the optimization process, and they're all ready. I throw them into the folder. Obviously, the old files are still there, and we could either uh, pick and choose, like say, okay, here we know that these go with this, I don't know, wardrobe, and we fix the wardrobe, and now the wardrobe looks better because it's no longer blurry, and and it's smaller footprint on the disc and all those neat things. Um, but then I can't move the Targa out of the way because I don't know if there's other wardrobes in the game, or beds, or desks, or wood floors that use that same wood grain. So I need to search the project, find out where it all is, swap out all of the materials for all the textures and all the materials that you use that texture, and then we could retire the TGA. And my God, that's a ton of work.
yeah.
I could automate most of that. Once I have the ability to run the search, I could save that out. I could export that output as CSV, um, or in our case TSV, but get that, and then using Python, I could just go in there and boom, 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 because it's all text files. Everything that I have to touch none of this is binary. Um, so I could go in there and I could just tell it, okay, here's a list of all the prefabs. Here's that have that are using these materials. Here's a list of all the materials that are using these textures, and then just go and swap them all out. Swap all the textures out. Not hard. And I should be able to get what we were imagining a year ago when we first started talking about this being a multi-month project where it was all hands on deck, going sweeping through the project. Um, I may be able to get it done in a day.
Well, that's good. That's fast.
Yeah, no, I mean, and when I say get it done in a day, I mean the whole thing, validating and everything. It's just like, even with the amount of stuff that we got going on, it should only take a few hours at the most, um, to run through the stuff. And I could still split it up because I'll have a TSV source sheet that tells me, that lists off all of the textures and all with the materials that they're associated with. So I
Right.
could I could actually literally just go down the list and have it stop. Go down the list, have it stop, and bite off chunks. In fact, I mean, I probably will do that at least initially for the first few passes, so that way, uh, we could go back and validate that our transparencies are right and all that neat stuff. Um, even though I'll probably be doing that by hand even before I get to that stage. But once we know we're good, then I'll hit the button, let it go off, and no matter what it takes, even if it's overnight, finish the whole damn thing. And then that'll be a massive mission into the project. But at the same time, all the TGAs, we're not going to delete them. We're going to move them and hold them because you never know. That's the bottom line, right? You,
Right.
you,
Right.
you never know. So we'll move them out of the project and save them someplace. Throw them on a hard drive or something, but get them out of our production, and then the footprint of the client will go down, the quality will go up, and then we just go from there. Everything we're doing now is PNG. Everything going forward is all PNG. So
If possible. I mean, there may be a few exceptions for some of the special shaders, but for the most part, yeah.
if there is, I'll rewrite the shader.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I've actually been messing around with shaders now, so I'm getting brave. Yeah,
if you can, I mean,
yeah.
that's some Justin level stuff right there. Woo.
Yeah, well, I was even saying that I was saying that on the stream when yesterday, day before, I don't remember, but it was. But oh yeah, before you joined on the live stream, I actually was talking about I was pining after Justin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
it's just like, oh
he was a
God,
powerhouse.
yeah,
He was a
yeah,
coding powerhouse for sure. He still
yep,
is, I'm sure, but it's just
oh yeah,
he's not available to us right now.
right, not right now, but that's why I was saying it's like, if you guys support the game, even if I get him back part time,
That would be
he,
amazing.
yeah, it's like we would be able to do so much if we had him around. Stuff that would take me a week, he'd be able to do in 5 minutes.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you. You can see on my machine. So I went ahead and preempted the possibility of making it smaller anyway, because I recognize that by making it smaller anyway, just a little bit, it would allow me to have that roof stick out to the degree that it does,
Hmm.
so that it looks good sticking out that far away from the framework of that particular uh,
Overhang.
yeah, that particular overhang, um, all the way around. And so you even get to see it overhang a bit from side to side, whereas before it stretched all the way to the very edge of the roof, which looked a little awkward. So I, as it is, I gave um, I essentially gave another foot and a half to the width of the distance between that and the door. So there
Ah,
should be ample room for those things that they were talking about wanting to place.
right, right, gotcha.
The lamp and the whatever. Plus, it now looks good,
Mhm.
and it basically I decreased its size widthwise by 10%.
Nice, yeah, and it looks better because the angles are sharper. You know.
Yeah, the angles are sharper. Plus the roof, the little mini roof, decorative roof overhang looks good over that shape from all angles too. So
Gotcha, gotcha.
I'm pretty pleased by that. Uh,
Cool.
yeah, I like it.
Cool. All right, let's see.
But
And
I am gonna add a little detail back to this thing now that I have it there. But yep, in just a few minutes, I'm signing off since it's getting close. It's getting very close.
yep, yep, sure is. Um, and I'm actually surprised I do not have an alert yet, so I don't know if this is actually working. It's making me sad.
There's nothing to like about that.
No. Of course, I get the status thing up here, but I don't have it. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to. I'm going in. I'm going in.
But what are you checking?
Oh, it's missing out of my menu. It's not here.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well then something happened with my compile because my tools are no longer here. Well, that explains that.
That doesn't sound good.
Well, it's what the hell happened. God knows. But let me see. I will check real quick. Um, blah blah blah. Spring control. Yeah, here it is. Here's the submission. Um, they are in the project. Tree show in Christmas tree, and it says it's there. Let's see what we got here. No, there's all sorts of. It threw up all over itself. There's some
Oh
kind
no.
of menu handle crap. This is NGUI bullshit. Um, some of this chroma animation. This has nothing to do with me. Blah, blah, blah. Hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap in here. Let's find out what's going on. This off. Um, mm, mm. It's weird too because the my Perforce status window is still here, which lives in that menu, but the menu's empty. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to debug it. Obviously not doing it now.
Because that equals Pookie pain. That's what that
Oh
equals.
yeah. Yes. So well, I'm gonna start winding down here anyway. The so obviously there's a little bit more cleanup to do in this room, so that way it's completely optimized and properly constructed. So I'm going to fix the columns, and then after that, this room will be ready for me to create the spawns. I may take a few minutes to see what I could do about um, fixing the trap that's in here because this trap was my first effort at um, animation. And even with that said, I didn't really do any animation. I hijacked other animation and went in there and took a hatchet to it to make it do what I wanted it to do. Um, the animation that this is using is from a rope ladder in another scene that you cross over in the rope ladder. As you cross over, the rope ladder breaks, and
Oh,
yeah, and then you fall through the rope ladder. So I was like, oh, good. Well, that's what I need. All I want is to use the animation to let it basically fall out from under you. And then when I put it in there, basically, um, I found that I found the limitations of what you can and can't change. There's things that are hard coded in. Like I had to use the names, the object names had to be the same names from the animation from the rope ladder because that's embedded
oh,
into the mesh, into the FBX. So and then basically what's happening is it's one board from the rope ladder that I'm using, and that one board flips over. So when you step on this, if you trigger the trap, basically the whole thing just comes up and flips over on top of you and swallows you up and puts you into the lava. And apparently, at least one person had been thrown outside of the room into the void.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not pleasing.
No, no, no. But the trap's not really supposed to work that way, but it was good enough at the moment. I knew I would come back and fix it. But anyway, I have a much better understanding of the animation now, and I'm probably gonna see what I could do about changing that out. My eyes are starting to burn. Ugh,
Yes, that
it
is the sign
is.
of nighty night.
Yeah, you know, I hate it when this happens and my mind is still racing. It's like thousands of things to do. No, body, don't fail me now. Uh,
Well, at least you, and then those of you all who ended up joining us again to check the stuff out and who are familiar with what I was working on, you all have now gotten a really good view of what that bay window, that whole bay window structure will look like from the outside, and you can imagine it'll be something similar on the inside. So that's the next task is to go and make the stuff on the inside facing inward that looks right when you're standing inside the house. So, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. What do you think, Stephen?
yeah, awesome. Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, I think it turned out nice. A nice different addition that we hadn't really seen much of in the same kind of form, and a lot of like little, a little bit of whimsy in there too, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, and it's so we're gonna have when when we're ready for these things to go into production, there will be they will go on the website. The price will be very attractive, and uh, the sales of the houses on the website will go directly. That money will go directly to making more houses.
Oh yes.
It's yeah. This was a thing that an arrangement that Chris, myself, and Scotty had when we first started talking about doing this, and of course, you know, COVID and everything was in the way, and other illnesses and everything that got in the way. But finally, we're at the point where we're going to be just about ready to get this stuff going. That was part of my conversations with Taslo last night, actually. And according to Taslo, I'm ready to go. All the access I need to get the stuff done, which means that the whole web store is going to be another project. It's one of my end goals, besides putting things like new houses up on the web store for sale, will be to bring other things out of out of the storage area, I guess you would say, um, that on the website. And I want to say now, none of the stuff from the vault. I'll never go back on my word on that crap. But um, there are things that that were up on the website that were just normal things to sell that got transferred into the Crown Shop. So what I want to do is be able to just say, okay, I'm going to do a flash sale. So while we're doing this live stream, you could go up there and you could get something that's normally, $20 for $5,
Oh yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. And hopefully we're going to be doing a lot more of streams like this too. So I'm so glad that you all were able to kind of come and listen to us jibber jab and talk about, all kind of crazy stuff that we're in the middle of working on. Hear us complain about the stuff that we're working on, recognize the crazy nitty-gritty detail, and yeah, we're always happy to share with you guys. So yeah, we're glad you all enjoyed the long stream, and now it's coming down to the final few minutes before it's true shutdown time. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down, make the last few of my notes and comments on this, and then I'm going to hit the hay. So hopefully you all have enjoyed what you've seen. Have a great night, and thanks again, once again, for your support and interest in our what is both our passion and our pride and our Herculean effort to create on a nearly daily basis,
There you go.
even on our days off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Actually, what is it? We're going into Thursday now. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I'll probably be looking to stream again tomorrow. Well, sometime point in time when I wake up. So, just I'm going to continue working. So, might as well share. At one point, I said if the week went the way I wanted it to go, I was actually even thinking about doing a marathon stream. Because if I stay up 24 hours, which is something I do a lot, well, why not just do it on stream? if because I'm sitting here doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, but sadly, as I said, some things get in the way that are not streamable or not worth streaming because I'll just be sitting here staring at a screen or pulling my hair out or swearing. And there you go. But when I start finally getting down to the stuff right now, so I'm working on the actual content that I want to get done. Then yeah, I got definitely hours and hours and hours of that ahead of me. So. All right, cool. Well, you guys all have a nice night. And yeah, it is definitely time for a nap. I'm not gonna say the other part, but all
We'll
right,
take
man.
we'll take care, Stephen. Thank you, and we'll talk to you all again soon. And Stephen, have a good night. Have a great night, Cat Dude, and Inufet. Again, thank you for joining us. You two, a night owl. You certainly proved your name in this particular case. And even for those of you all who might have been observing us and not necessarily wanting to jump on the conversation, we even enjoy the lurkers because it means that people are interested in checking us out as we do our thing. So
Yep.
take care, you guys, and we'll see you all again soon.
Yep. And on a parting note, just don't forget, check out the game if you're not in the game already at shroudoftheavatar.com. You can get it on Steam, but 99.9% of our players download the game directly from us. It's free to play either way, and the community is great. So, come check things out,
Yeah,
hang out,
come play
talk
with
to folks, and we'll be back.
come
Talk to
play
you
with
later.
us. Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.